I could kind of lead out to. I don't think anybody recorded last week's AMA. I don't know if anyone is this week, but we should probably figure out something going forward of a more official nature to start to have these get like recorded. But unfortunately, we haven't had time yet for this one either. So hopefully someone out there is recording. But yeah, I just want to say welcome everybody to the AMA. We've been doing these every week since the start of the project. Actually, since before the start of the project, really. Or I guess prior to the launch of the phase 1, I should say. And it's been great. And it's always a really good way for everyone to hear from the team and get their answers to their questions that they have. So thanks everyone for coming. Quick recap of the week. It's been a really big week for us here. We launched Heroes NFTs, and that was amazing. We worked really hard for it. I know a lot of our team, most of our team was working upwards of 10 to 15 hours every day leading up to it, just to make sure that everything was in place. And it went really smoothly. It's actually the smoothest NFT launch that I've ever seen. And it sold out in I think it was 11 minutes, and they just went really fast, which really speaks to the excitement for the project and also for the ROI of all these things in the future as well. So yeah, that was great, and it went really well, and we are still really busy trying to add some of those extra features that we have announced. We're currently working very hard on summoning. That is next on our list, and we're trying to make sure that all of the mechanics that were created by Hubert are accurately in play in those smart contracts, because we're trying to basically do something that's very unique here in this space, which is basically having all of the logic of our game live in the smart contracts on the blockchain, which is a pretty big undertaking. There's not any other project that I know of that is trying to have all of that logic just be on the blockchain. And so we have to be very careful, because when you're dealing with smart contracts, there isn't a lot of room for error, basically. So we have to ensure that everything's 100% coverage for tests, and audits and things are done and all that type of stuff as well. So we're just really working hard on that. We did launch a new feature in the tavern over on the beta to be able to send heroes to your friends or to other addresses. Seems like it's been working fine, and we'll probably push that to production maybe tonight or tomorrow. And the summoning stuff is going to come soon. We're still kind of trying to finish up some of those unit tests. There's a few that are failing still, and we're having to just ensure that that's 100% solid first before that launches. But currently I'm thinking probably tomorrow night is when we can expect to see that, if all is able to go well with those. From the standpoint of dev team, that is pretty much the update. A lot of stuff went out. There was a lot of success, and we're hard at work for the next stuff that will come out soon. So that's the summing up of that. I think Jericho will be kind of facilitating this AMA, so he might allow some minutes for probably Sinstar and Spicy and Isla to speak about some of the things from last week for all of their departments as well.
Yeah, for sure. Had a little bit of microphone issue there at the beginning, but hello everybody. Yeah, so I think that's a good update. And so, Sinstar, do you want to chime in here on how things are going on the art department side of things?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it has been a really big week. I'm trying to go through all the stuff in my brain. It feels like a time warp happened, and a couple weeks happened this week. So I'm trying to split everything out. But one thing I know for sure is one of the artists that I'm working with right now, they're just kind of contractors, really, is what they're basically at this point. One of them actually does have interest in joining the team in a more official capacity, and I really really like his work. I've been following him for years, and so I'm super stoked about that. He might be able to spend, quite a bit more time working with us on some really awesome aspects of the overworld map. We want it to be somewhat of a dynamic overworld map, so events happen, stuff changes daily on our overworld map in the next phases, and so he's going to be able to work with me closer on that, and the team, because currently I'm working just personally with a lot of these artists, and kind of show the rest of the dev team, like, here's what they're doing. But I think we're going to get this one artist to actually jump in with me, and and let's see here, Swirl and Pieface actually be part of the design team and communicate with us more closely and personally. So I'm super excited for that. I'm talking with him today about all the details on that. So that for me is really awesome. That's going to give me a little extra time during each week to actually not do DFK all day every day. And then one other thing, this isn't really design related, design department, but I do notice there's, people are really wanting to get heroes shipped, and in multiple ways, I suppose. And we're working really hard on those aspects. Things are going pretty well, so I would say if you can wait, it's worth waiting for before doing anything like sending them out into the ether and some alternative method and hoping that, hoping for the best. You got a Gen 0, you can wait a few more days for summoning and trading and all that fun stuff. I just kind of advise that. I would really hate to see them just kind of getting lost and scams happening. That's very common in this space. So please, if you can at all possibility, wait a few more days, and I don't think you'll be disappointed with that choice. It's coming pretty smoothly, so we're getting to that point very quickly. As far as anything else design, I think we're just moving on to the next phase at this point, and we're super excited for it.
Nice.
Thanks, Jericho.
Mm-hmm. And Spicy, do you have anything you'd like to share from your side?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a really amazing week. I could probably, I guess, Isla and I have been working nonstop together this past week, so she and I could probably be lumped into what I'm saying. But yeah, we had a really awesome hero launch. Thank you to everybody that came to our mint party or a minting party here in Discord. It was a lot of fun. And we had everybody kind of speaking and getting ready to summon their heroes together. I just want to say, like, I'm super excited about this community. We have been doing some giveaways for, the TVLs. We just did the 45 TVL giveaway not too long ago, and we're already doing the 50 mil TVL giveaway, so that's pretty exciting. It's happening really fast. I know, it doesn't stop. And then we also did the hitting 5K in our community on Discord celebration, which was pretty awesome. And we're already at 6,000 members in our community here. So we're just growing really fast. Our other platforms are growing really fast too, Twitter and Reddit. We are looking to expand to other social platforms soon. And yeah, I'm just really super stoked. We're kind of going to be working with a more built out timeline too. I'm kind of working with Professor Tango on that. Just kind of meeting our deadlines and getting ahead, and that's pretty much it for me.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Well, we've got a lot of questions coming in, and some of them might be quick answers, but just skimming over them here, I'd like to get started into these. A lot of these seem like they're going to end up on Hubert's plate. And so, Hubert, you are here in the channel with us, right?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, great. Also, great job, Hubert, on your recent, AMA that you did with our Japanese community. Seemed to go very well. So
Yeah, there was like 400 people that were listening in on that, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good time. Yeah, also thanks to my wife who was helping me prepare and also was a part of the AMA.
Nice.
Helping
really
you
nice.
translate things. That's cool.
Right.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can find some questions here to start with. I'm going to be just going through some that are in the AMA questions voice channel chat, and also some that have been sent to me.
Sorry.
Oh.
I was just going to say, as well as Sachet helped with the translation. We really appreciate him for helping out.
Oh, yes,
For sure.
absolutely. Thank you, Sasha. Yeah, I should have said something during the AMA and I forgot, and I apologize for that.
Awesome. Okay, so one of the first questions here on my list of things for you, Hubert, let's see. Are professions random and not based on summoners? That's a question.
Only during the Gen 0 launch was that the case. From now on, it's all going to be based off of the heroes' genes for the 2 summoning heroes. So, if you have 2 warriors that are summoning, you're likely going to end up with another warrior. There are, some like recessive genes as well that may come to the surface and cause you to have actually a different type of hero come out. So it's not 100% guarantee, but the highest likelihood is that you're gonna, if you mix 2 of the same thing, you're gonna end up with the same thing.
Nice. Okay.
Right. Also, I just want to add to that, the professions are actually in their genes as well. So if 2 parents are like minors, you probably would get a minor out of that too. But there are like recessive genes, and there's stuff like that which could impact it as well, as you said. Also, though, even if you aren't a miner or if you aren't a gardener, you can still do those things. You just like won't have quite as much of a bonus there. And I anticipate that you'll see heroes will do all of the quests, really, even if they aren't like it's like their main thing. So there is just that too.
Nice. That kind of leads into the next question here. What does the green mean on certain professions and stats?
Yeah, so that means, so on the professions, that's telling you what profession gene you ended up with. So yeah, you'll get extra bonuses when you're doing that profession versus the other ones. On the stats, there are 2 different stat bonus genes. Right now, the UI doesn't really differentiate between the 2, and so you just know you have one and the other. You can kind of tell if they're 2 separate, or well, actually, there's also like a purple text that was added. So if you actually got both genes aligned to the same stat, then that will tell you that. But if they're separate, if one stat seems a little bit higher off the bat, that has a green on it, that means you probably got the immediate stat boost gene. Then there's another stat boost gene that will increase your growth percentage chance as you level up for that stat.
Nice. All right, here's one as well. What exactly will be the role of fishing and foraging in the economy of DeFi Kingdoms?
So with that, initially, the fish and the plants that you can get from foraging will be used for. Well, you can always sell anything for gold. That's going to take a little bit more time to refine that system and have that out. But once it is out, you'll be able to do that. You will also be able to use them to make potions, which in this early stage, potions aren't going to have much of a use. But once we get combat going, you'll be wanting to use potions all the time. So I do recommend that you hold on to some of that stuff. I mean, you can always decide to sell it if you want. That's up to everyone to do. But some of those potions are going to be really helpful for beating the combat quests. And also you can get Gaia's tears and runes, and also pet eggs from any of the quests. And the pet eggs are unique to the type of quest. So if you're foraging, you'll get like a gray pet egg. If you are fishing, you got a blue egg. And the plan is that those will have different pools that of possible pets that you can get when you hatch those. But pets are also something that's down the pike, but that's kind of the idea there too. And
Right.
oh, sorry, I don't know. Maybe I should stop. I have more to say, but
No, that's fine. I think that's great. I was just saying that's really nice to know that, you'll be able to get these classes of items from any of the quests, but there's going to be unique items based on what you're doing, right? Like if you're fishing or if you're foraging, you'll get unique pets, for example, if you're fishing as opposed to if you were foraging. Did I understand that correctly?
That's correct, yes. And I'll just say also that, right now, there's just these 4 quests for the 4 professions, but we plan to have different levels of profession quests and having different things be available in the higher level quests. And also having more dynamic events occur as well associated with the quests. So even though right now there's not a direct way to get Joule through foraging and fishing, I mean, you could still probably get Joule by selling some of the things that you get. In the future, I have plans for there to be, sometimes you might like find a bag of jewels when you're fishing, like snag it or something like that. So there will still be ways to directly receive jewels from those doing those professions in the future.
Yeah, and like a lot of those were actually stuck into the quest fund as a result of the sale that we just had, because we put, what was it, like 30% of the sale went to the quest fund? I think that was the number. But yeah, so our plan is to have a sort of like a pool there that will serve as the rewards for these quests and things. And then it will also get added to with all of the in-game transactions, so it'll be kind of like a self-sustaining pool there.
Nice.
Which
Very nice.
I do appreciate that the percentage is up there, because I feel like it is very important for all the transactions and all the fees in the transactions actually go back to the community. So like we have avenues in which to do that, and so I really appreciate that fact, because just me as a player, I want to be able to play a game that you have the chance to actually snag an actual rare drop or make some money from a game like this. So
Yeah.
I like that.
There's a kind of a related question here that we've got that's asking about mining, and they were wondering about how mining will work. Like if a person had 100,000 locked Joule versus 1 million was the example they used in the question. Will it be a straight like percentage return, or how does that work?
So we're still in the process of refining mining and finalizing the formula for it. I think one thing I can say in general is that it will be a threshold-based system. So as long as you have a certain threshold of locked jewels, you'll be able to unlock the maximum amount of jewels that you can for the stats that you have. And then if you're below that threshold, it's kind of a linear reduction of the amount that you can get from that threshold down to 0. Is kind of the system that we're setting up, but I'm not going to give you specific numbers today.
Right, and also if you haven't like actually got any locked jewels, you still can mine like for gold instead of jewels. So there's still sort of like a use case there for that.
Nice. Good to know. All right, here's a question about the marketplace. When the marketplace opens, will we be able to specify what we are renting our hero out for? For example, can I specify my heroes only rented out to do quests but not summoning, and vice versa?
So actually, we don't plan to have renting out heroes for quests to be a thing. It would be really just renting out for summoning is what you'd be using that feature for.
Right, and they're able to set any like price that they want to do there, so it's really just up to the community. If you have a hero that is highly sought after for summoning because they have stats other people would like to pair with, then you could probably fetch a higher price for that.
Nice. Good to know.
Also, just real quick, also the Gen Zeros will have a lot of utility there because they have the like unlimited cap there basically for summoning. So I do anticipate you'll see a lot of them offering their services for assisting in there.
I wonder if I mean, this is kind of related. I don't know if you'd like to speak to this, Hubert or Frisky. But in terms of renting, that's the plans for the hero. But we also have ideas for the land renting aspects. It's another NFT that we would have separately from the heroes with options for that.
Yeah, so that's right. Up until now, a lot of the questions and a lot of the things that like we've been announcing are centered around heroes, because heroes are like the main thing, I guess, in like these early phases. And they'll probably always stay like the main thing, but we are adding kingdoms in the future, which will introduce a whole other aspect into our game where you'll have the ability to create your kingdoms and upgrade them and improve them and increase the amount that you can like have ROI on them as well. And so I think Jericho had some ideas about being able to like rent out areas of your kingdom for other players to sort of cultivate things like that.
I think it's got potential for sure. Whatever we end up with will be very balanced, and I know Hubert's gonna help us with that for sure. But exciting things coming. Here's kind of a non-game related question. Fox, probably this will be directed at you. Is there any news on if the team has talked more with Harmony about applying for a grant?
Yeah, so we've been really busy with all these launches, and I think I had somebody on the Harmony team message me after we launched, like, where the heck did you guys come from? Like, we weren't even aware of like you guys launching a project, and it's this super high quality thing, like really just took us by surprise. And we're like, yeah, sorry, we've been just like so busy trying to actually create it, that we have this policy, or I guess not even policy, but more of a motto,
Work
I guess,
ethic.
that like we want to create something awesome and then let the players come. Like, we're not trying to market some huge thing and put marketing first. We're out there trying to promise all these huge things and have everyone stick their money in prior to really having anything. Like, we actually like want to build as much of it as early as we can and then start to push marketing really hard. But I mean, it's very important to have those avenues in place. And since we did launch, I have been speaking with a lot of the core members, and just about things like anywhere from coding and stuff that we could improve on Harmony to how do we coordinate our efforts with marketing. We just launched a partnership with Harmony and Superbid. So it's kind of like a three-way thing with Harmony core team and Superbid and us to basically create a new platform mechanism where other projects from outside of Harmony can come into Harmony and have a place to live here on our platform. So that's probably the first of many there, I would say. I've also spoken with Sam on the core team. Flu was actually instrumental in setting that up, so shout out to Flu there. But he's the one who's in charge of like the bounties, or not the bounties, the
Grants.
allocation of like those grants. And so he like asked us, he's like, are like you guys gonna apply, and it's like, yeah, like we're working on it. We've assigned I believe Freya to draft up some things with her and Tango, just kind of trying to like lead that charge. And then Sam said that if we had any questions about like which category we'd fall into, or if we have to create a new category for us, that he would be like willing to work with us on that. So it is in the works, and I say it's just really just a matter of time until that happens.
Nice. Good to hear. All right, let's see. Some of these questions are kind of turning back to the game mechanics. So this one's probably for you, Hubert. If there's a warrior with a subclass that's also warrior, what are the benefits of that?
Yeah, so the subclass adds in additional chances to get stat gains when you level up. So it's based on what the standard gain is for a given class. So A warrior is going to get a lot of strength, a lot of endurance, and a lot of vitality, very little intelligence and wisdom, and just that kind of formula works for any given class. So that's kind of how the subclasses work. It's about a quarter of the chance to get a stat gain from your subclass than it is from your class. But you have a chance to get a gain from both of them each time you level up.
Nice. Okay, and here's another one probably for Fox. When will the Heroes smart contract be published?
Yeah, so I actually have been speaking with Give from the Harmony team, just asking about what's the best way for us to verify the contracts, because this one uses a little bit of a different standard. It's a proxy contract using the Open Zeppelin upgradable pattern, and on other chains like Etherscan, for example, has an API that allows us to verify that, and I've used that before. But here on Harmony, we don't have anything like that yet. So we're probably going to look into maybe even seeing if we could add that to the Explorer sometime, and then have the ability to have that get verified at that point. Some of the other contracts that are surrounding it could probably be also verified soon. There are some things that we might choose to keep encrypted. It's still there in the what is it called? It's still there in the bytecode. However, it involves things with some of the game mechanics that we might want to have be more under the wraps for now, so that there's stuff that could be more of a surprise. For example, some of the new classes that are out there that can be found when we start the summoning. We would like those to be more of a surprise moment, whoever's the first one who ends up with that class will be like, wow, there's this new thing, and then they'll share it over in the community, and people will start to freak out, basically, because with any game, you have to have sort of a mix of stuff that the players can find. So we'll be for sure looking at that more. But I have been in talks with Certicay, and I think Jax Through from Harmony was one who set that up, but he helped to facilitate that chat. And so what we're planning on doing is having those contracts be audited in a private repo, and just kind of have their stamp of yes, this looks good, even though they're not necessarily open source yet.
Nice. This seems like a good question as well. This is for Hubert. Should we expect Gaia's tiers to be hard to find? I'm asking because I'm assuming people will base the floor price of Gen 1s on how expensive the summoning materials will be. So how rare are Gaia's tiers?
Yeah, that is a good question. I have been seeing it a lot. So I think, initially it's going to be a little bit harder to get Gaia's tiers just because there are fewer heroes around. But once players get more heroes and can have them all be doing quests all at the same time, I think that you're going to see more and more Gaia's tiers being available. So we may need to do something like what we did even now, is we gave everyone who bought a Gen 0 50 Gaia's tiers, and then we did a big reward airdrop earlier too that gave everyone I can't remember how much, but everyone that had a certain number of X Joules could get Gaia's tiers from that too. So we hope that will help.
Sorry, just real quick, all those airdrops that we announced you're getting 1 tier, those are actually 10 tiers, because we basically scaled that up.
Right. Yeah.
Or if you got 2
well.
tiers, it's actually 20. Yeah.
Right. So there should be at least an initial kind of boost in tiers for people to be using and start summoning heroes, and then if it's taking us too long to get quests out so that people can be getting Gaia's tiers, we don't want the hero growth to stagnate. So we may, depending on how things are going, we may need to infuse some more tiers and let it rain Gaia's sad because the quests aren't out yet and you all can summon.
And also another thing that we might end up doing is just increasing the rate of the tiers out of quests at the start, just to kind of start that engine going.
Nice. So here's another similar question here. Is having Joules absolutely necessary for profession quests, or can someone complete them without having any Joule?
Yeah, there is no Joule cost for those quests. It's just cost stamina. So that's just a resource that each hero has that is consumed when you do quests, and it recovers at a rate of one stamina per 5 minutes. So yeah, you don't need to have Joules to be able to do any of those things.
All right, we're bumping up near the end of our time here, but there's one last one here I think is probably good to mention. They said, we've talked a lot about mining, fishing, and foraging, but can you also talk about the mechanics of gardening?
Sure, yeah. So gardening is going to be based off of how much liquidity a person is providing. So you'll be able to receive rewards from the quest pool by gardening, and it will be it's going to scale with the quest pool. So as that pool grows, you'll be able to get more, and it also will be based on your stats and your gardening skill and the percentage of the pool that you have added liquidity to, or the liquidity that you control. But there will also be, for those who haven't provided liquidity, there are still reasons to do gardening. You'll be able to receive some plants, and also like some plants that you can't get from foraging. So for potion making, that will be necessary. And of course, you can always still get Gaia's tears and runes and that. And if you do have the gardening profession, that does actually increase your chance of getting Gaia's tears and runes if you're doing that profession as well. Just so you know.
Nice. All right. We are at time. I will squeeze one last in here. This will be the last one. It's a pretty quick one, I think. But is there any news about listing Joule on other platforms like CoinMarketCap? I think we can end on that news.
Yeah. So CoinMarketCap, I haven't heard back from. I know that for CoinGecko, we got that listed. Flu was instrumental in that, and also Highface. She started it, and then she kind of went into their Slack or into their Discord and was like, "Hey, do this," and then it actually got done. So that was great. But it was actually listed as only on the exchange for Viper Swap, which means the price is kind of not accurate, basically, of what it actually should be. I guess there's arbitrage opportunities there if anyone wants to hit that. But our plan for that is to basically have them actually list us as an exchange, which will ensure that all of the liquidity and all the prices and stuff is actually accurate. And I think once that's in place, it'll be a lot easier for us to get listed over on CoinMarketCap as well too. I know for CoinMarketCap, they have a huge backlog of just all kinds of projects that have applied that they're trying to work through. So I don't have any kind of timeline for that right now.
Got it.
I did want to say a few closing statements if we're done with the AMA questions.
Let's transition to you, Fox. Go ahead and wrap us up.
Thank you. So it's been a big week. It seems like more than a week ago, but it wasn't, that we announced that we would be expanding out the multi-sig to have 2 members of the community on it. I don't think we've actually spoken about that in a AMA yet, because that was, I guess, last Monday, just 6 days ago. But I just sort of wanted to call that out too. I've been actually hoping and planning to have that get done since the very start of the project. It was always in our plans to sort of reduce the ability for us as the core team to just unilaterally make anything that would impact the project with any of those changes, without other people having a say in that. And so that's the whole point of that, is to allow the community to feel like all of their funds are safe, because having those extra 2 signers on there just basically requires that our team can't have any kind of malicious intent there, and it just helps to ensure that there's security and safety for everyone there. So I'm really excited about that, and huge I guess thank you to Ogre and Tail Chakra for stepping up and offering to do that for us. And then another thing too, we are trying to transition into more of a structured project where we'll have sort of a like more clear delineation of who is the official like spokespeople for the project and who can speak on behalf of the project and who is a contributor who helps with like some of the tasks and things that we need. So we are changing things there. I've spoken with like some lawyers, for example, and had some legal advice there about stuff to look out for, stuff that could sort of like be things we need to watch out for that could open us up to lawsuits or anything like that. And we're just trying to plan for the future and ensure that the project is always on like stable ground and that we're always on the up and up. And that in the future, if we ever do transition into sort of a studio and having an actual like legal entity in place for that, that we're kind of set up from the very start for that to work. So we're starting to make steps there in the right direction, and I'm really excited about that. I think it will really just like improve the outlook of our project for like the long term, and it'll ensure that we are safe and secure and able to grow for the next like 3 to 7 to 10 to 20 years. You know, like we're all in here for the long term. So that's where all those things are coming from there. So watch out for that. We'll be probably announcing more as that is starting to be finalized more. And there was something else I can't remember right now. Dang it. Well, I'm sure it'll come up after we end the call, and then I'll be like, dang it. So I guess, was there something else you wanted to say real quick, Jericho, before I continue?
No, you carry us out, and you can wrap it up for us, in case it comes to you here in just a minute.
Okay. Anyways, just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone in the community. Everyone's been really good, really excited about the future. We had an awesome launch with this phase 2, and this is just the start. This is like our entry into the play to earn space, and we're going to be able to just see like huge and awesome growth there from that, and just all of the synergies we have planned for the future with that are going to be amazing. So really looking forward to the future and to the stuff that'll be coming out this week. There's going to be like, I think three or four pretty big things, even just like in like the next few days to like a week. So it's exciting times. Thanks everyone for coming, and here's to a awesome next week and month.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you guys. That's all I'm gonna say.